Issues bothering on emotions is a major issue in this age. And although not everybody wants to talk about it, some people just would prefer to shy away from it. However, emotions actually dictate how well you fare. And this is why it's very important that we in this studio delve deep into issues bothering on emotion, because there's a lot of issues connected to emotional imbalance in this generation. Every now and then we hear news of suicidal attempts, and people, especially young people in this generation, complain majorly of suicidal thoughts. However, how many people are actually doing enough to curtail the issues of emotional imbalance? This is what we're here to do. We're here to help you. We're here to make sure that you understand issues that bother on emotion and how you can become emotionally intelligent, and also help people around you to become emotionally intelligent. And then we can all together create a better world for us all. You're welcome to Kingdom Inheritors Television. This is the Squad Show on Friendship Avenue. I am the squad leader, KC Desmond. And with me here is Esther Freeman and Fragrance. And together we're on the Squad Show. And we welcome you to today's episode. On today's show, we want to kickstart a series with the theme Traits Developed Later in Life by People Who Suffered Emotional Neglect while they were young. We are quick to judge in this generation, of course. We are quick to judge, and I'm sure that my squad mates will actually agree with me on that fact. We're quick to cast blames, we're quick to point accusing fingers, but the truth is that the larger percentage of people who actually misbehave, when I say misbehave, I mean in different perspectives and in different aspects of the society. Majority of them are propelled by things they have developed, some unconsciously, some unknowingly, as a result of treatments that were meted to them while they were young. So it is very important that we first of all begin with that. All right? For example, you see a young man who is quick to defend himself, especially in a fight. Any little thing, he wants to be aggressive. Any little thing, he wants to be aggressive. The fact is, the larger percentage of them are people who have actually suffered one emotional neglect or the other while they were young. All right? And over time, these people have unconsciously developed, these defensive traits. They have developed these aggressive traits, and now they suffer it. Because sometimes when you see some of these aggressive people, you think they enjoy it. Mm-hmm. All right? It's very important we make our viewers understand that. Majority of them do not actually enjoy it. Only that they do not have control over it. So, we want to look at these traits holistically. It's very, very important. So that when you see a person, you can emotionally, intelligently assess or access the person such that, now, it's not even a matter of you defending yourself. It's more than that. What we're here to do in this studio is more than helping our viewers understand how they can defend themselves, because oftentimes these are things we hear people talk about, how you can defend yourself against aggression, how you can defend yourself against this, against that, and all that. And nobody is talking about the guy, the lady who is actually suffering the effects of these emotional imbalance. Because I've seen a lot of people who do stuff, and even without being apprehended, on their own, there is always this time of sober reflection where they begin to regret their acts, they begin to regret the things they've done. And majority of them that I have met have wished they never did those things. But unfortunately, they would still find themselves doing it again, some of them again and again. All right, so it's just like what the Apostle Paul said in the Bible. Those things I want to do, I do them not. But those things I don't want to do, they're the things I find myself doing. So it's very important that we understand these traits so that when we see people suffering from these kind of things, we'll be able to understand them and intelligently treat them with a level of kindness, and then, if possible, educate them so much so that they themselves become intelligently aware of what is wrong with them, and then, if possible, we can walk them out of that. Because if we work on ourselves and we help them work on themselves as well, hey, the world will just become a better place. Yes. All right? So, today we want to look at the first trait, which is the fact that most people that suffered emotional neglect while they were young or younger, majority of them grow up to become adults who have difficulty with emotional expression. All right? So that's what I want us to discuss today. A lot of them suffer difficulty with emotional expression. So let me begin with fragrance. Definitely, you must have had experiences with these kind of people and all that. What can you tell us about the signs? Because this is actually what I want us to dwell on today on this very episode. Okay. What can you tell us about the signs to look out for, to be able to identify people who are suffering difficulty with emotional expression?
Okay, people that are suffering this, there are a lot of signs that we can get from them. I am metamorphosizing from that state.
Okay, so you're speaking from a personal experience.
Okay, so you see these persons, they are reserved. They just, should I pick it from, there's a teaching you said they become flat and muted.
Yes.
Yes, that. So now, in that part, I want to pick it. From that part, you see them, they cannot, it's not because the capacity to express themselves is not there. Most times, if you give this person this opportunity to express themselves, you see them crying instead of talking. So, in place of giving you detailed
explanations and all that,
they are right. So if they could have that confidence to speak out what is in their mind, you know that most times these persons have reasons for whatever that's happening. So now, for these persons, they just can't say it out. And let me dwell on that. It is as a result of, over the time, there is no playground, there is no free space for them to
express themselves,
express what is in them. So they most time keep it inside.
So over the years,
So
they've experienced.
they've learned to, you know, be their
Their comforter.
they console themselves. They feel that, okay, I can't tell anybody this thing.
And it could develop into something like everybody hates me,
yes,
kind of.
It could develop into something. So even if I want to say it, the capacity to say it is not just there. And I don't know. This is
I can actually feel what you're talking about, and I can feel the seriousness you are attaching to it, especially for the fact that you're speaking based on personal experience. I've actually dealt with a lot of these kind of people, you know, and you know that most often than not, we actually get angry. You know, so you get it. Let's say you're talking to a teenager, and you're asking this teenager questions, probably based, questions that bother on accountability, and this person already is feeling jittery. All right, already is feeling jittery, and the next thing is you just see tears, you know, rolling down. And before you know it, the person who is questioning him would have concluded that, okay, you're guilty.
Yes.
You know, you know, you're guilty. That's why you're crying, and you know, this crocodile tears, kind of, and all that. All right, so we would come back to what fragrance actually brought up, because that's a whole lot. I can say that. Particularly about that particular sign, because I've seen a whole lot of people who actually have that particular sign. At first, I actually misunderstood it for guilty conscience. All right. Yeah. Yes, of course. I must admit. At first,
and some will say it's crocodile tears.
Yeah, some will say, you know, what we call crocodile tears. You know, but Freeman, from your perspective, what can you tell us is what you would see, and then you would just know that this person may not be guilty. This person is just suffering difficulty with emotional expression.
Well, from my own perspective, with what has been discussed so far, based on the example of a little girl that shed tears as a result of trying to
inability to just get those words,
you know, that might be as a result of limited emotional vocabulary. So she doesn't really know the words to express her feelings. So all she could do is to shed tears. And from that, I see that most often it's always coming from the area of family upbringing.
Okay.
Because I've experienced such in time past when something went wrong between two siblings.
Yes.
And the other one is trying to express himself, and the father or the mother just slapped him and just say, keep quiet. You know, as that continues often on and on like that, it resulted to emotional imbalance by not wanting.
After all, nobody wants to hear me.
Nobody wants to hear me. So what's the need of expressing myself? And also, it's also come with what I've written here. It also comes with as a result of environmental factors.
Yes.
Environmental factors.
I agree. Yes.
Because I remembered in time past when we were younger that I cannot fight my mate outside.
Yeah.
Based on, if I come home and report to my father, I will be the one punished.
Irrespective of whether you are the victim or not.
So my father punishes me. And because of that, if I'm done anything evil outside, I can't retaliate. I can't even fight back. And even if anything like that happens outside, maybe in any way I was molested outside, I would rather hold it to myself, because if I open up to my father,
you will see the beating of your life. Wow.
So that's it. That's it.
Wow. Wow. You see, I don't know. I think we actually have a lot of work to do. From what you just said now, I think we have a lot of work to do in sensitizing parents of this age, especially in Africa.
Yes.
That is, from what you just said, what I see there is your father was just trying to keep the, should I use the word holy?
That's it.
You know, the holy perception. You know,
shall not fight.
of the son of a pastor, or the son of an elder, or the son of a believer.
And let me tell you the reason why he did it. That was how he brought us up. That was how he brought us up. In the sense that he also told us the story of how he was also brought up. Because his father is somebody that doesn't want, he always likes, okay, you come and tell me sorry. When families come to tell him what the son did, what they will just say is at most, congratulations, son. You didn't bring shame to me. So his father,
so he wanted to be the direct opposite.
His father trained him to be a tyrant outside.
And he didn't like it.
Yes, because he once told us a story of, as at the time he goes to the bush, when he's being beaten up, he will come home and report to his father. His father will beat him on the note that
who gave birth to the weakling?
You see that?
A lion should birth a lion.
He grew up without mindset. And so when anything happens outside, what he does is he will just cut a lot of long woods, long strokes of canes, and keep it somewhere. And later, he will just tell that his friend as if everything has settled. So he will just say, let's go to the bush and play.
Then he will flog the
before you know what's happening, if he gets there, then he will challenge the guy. You fought me the other time. I kept quiet. Now nobody's here to settle us. So among these canes, choose one, and I will pick one. When it finishes on you, pick another one.
Jesus.
So let's begin to flop.
Oh.
Wow.
But I think he
So they begin to fight.
Things his
So
own
that is
way.
how
His own way.
That is how he became a tyrant.
And do you know that is suicidal?
Oh, sure.
You see that?
Because
That's how he became a tyrant, and everybody feared him so much because of that. But that was as a result of how his father
was brought
him up. So during his time, he said he doesn't want his children
to be like him.
like that. So opposite.
A direct opposite. And now he took it to the extreme.
The extreme of it. So that is why we were unable to express our emotions.
You see, dear viewer, you see that this is actually a whole lot. And this is why I always say, let's limit our level of judgment. You know, this judgmental attitude. Because the truth is that the person you're judging is actually suffering something that if he had a choice, or if she had a choice, he or she would choose the direct opposite.
sure.
You know, and God help us. Let's just do everything possible to be emotionally intelligent, so that when we see people, we will be able to look deep into their eyes and sometimes feel their pains, you know, because eventually both you and this person become victim of circumstances.
Yeah.
So this person is reacting according to, you know, what has subconsciously developed over time, which he or she might be battling with without liking it. All right. While you, on the other hand, you're just becoming this attacking kind of person, and eventually you too lose your peace. So both of you just become victim of that circumstance. Anyways, I want to bring you into the conversation. Just you have questions bordering on signs to observe, signs to know a person who is suffering difficulty with emotional expression. Just go straight to the comment section and make sure you send us a message, and I can assure you we will check it out, and the one you want us to speak about, even though it is your personal experience, as long as you want us to talk about it, we would gladly do so. And I want to enjoin you at this juncture to make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, so that whenever we post an emotionally educative video, you will be the first to be notified. Now, back to you, Esther. I know you definitely, I know you definitely we have a lot to talk about, because we actually need to try as much as possible to understand people. Now, this is not a matter of understanding people based on their point of view. No. This is a matter of understanding the pains of people. So, what can you tell us are other signs to look out for to identify a person who is suffering difficulty with emotional expression?
Okay, I want to pick it up from where Freeman stopped. You know, he highlighted the importance of how the family can affect, you know, emotional intelligence. And most times you look at it, he highlighted, he said, lack of emotional words. And I just had to just, you know, take up some words because I just have, I began to interact with a lot of persons.
Yes.
And there are a lot of factors
based on your profession.
Yes,
yes,
there are a lot of factors that can affect, you know, people. And I realized that most people do not even understand that this thing that happened when they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, old, had affected their personalities.
Has contributed in molding them into who they are now.
You know, in their present state. And lack of emotional vocabulary can be as a result of avoiding emotional topics. Now, I have a friend, and she highlighted something when we were during our NYC days, and she said one of the issues that she had when she was in secondary school was that she's very expressive. She likes to teach, you know. So she's one of those students that would always mimic their teachers at the end of the session. And her mom is a teacher. Her mom owns a school.
I can relate.
And then she had a teacher that just did not like the fact that she would express or mimic, you know, her teacher. But those were one of the ways that she could remember most of what has been taught. You know, the way the teacher would give examples, the way the teacher would write, you know, gesticulations and all of that. And she was sharing with us at that time that the teacher came back to her, flogged her, punished her, and told her that you cannot amount into something good. This was years back. You know, she was sharing this story as at 2019. And imagine when she finished secondary school. And she has not forgotten about that scenario. That the teacher told her that, oh, you're not amounting to something good because you make fun of your teachers. And then she was like, her mom is a teacher. Her mom owns a school. But then the mom allows them express themselves. So why would the teacher restrict her from expressing herself? And that at that time when she was in a boarding school, when the teacher did that to her, she became very withdrawn. So she will be pained. She might not even understand some of these topics, right? And then, but she could not ask questions. You know, she became withdrawn. She stopped having friends. She stopped speaking to people. It was a lot.
So she was actually literally trying to avoid
mimicking, you know, because she's someone that even maybe amongst her friends, she's trying to express herself, right? And then she just misses it because she feels like, oh, this person might feel I'm making fun of them, you know. So it brings us back to the conversation of, you know, because now she does not have access to, now her parents are not there. She does not even, her school father or school mother or guardian, because she was in the boarding house, did not even have that emotional intelligence to notice that thing happening with her. So it had made her now have because there is this avoidance of emotional topics around that it has just affected her personality, resulting to a lot of things, you know, making her stay away from conversations, making her stay away from expressions, making her stay away from asking questions that could have shaped her. But on the long run, you know, she was able to discover herself. through the help of the Holy Spirit, because she had to have a lot of interactions. And at when we left, she became like this vibrant evangelist that wants to talk. Everywhere you meet her, she would share that story with
because
you.
that is the real her.
That is her personality, and she loves young people, and she just wants to express herself and share a lot of stories. So imagine if, for her, she was able to discover herself, and she was able to know that, okay, this is the main issue that made me not to have certain conversations back then in secondary school, and she was able to break out of it. What about the people that did not have access to these things, or do not even know that they are suffering from these kind of issues? So it's a whole lot.
It's actually a whole lot. While you were speaking, I was just putting down one or two things, and it's heartbreaking. I hope this doesn't cause us to deviate, but forgive me, I really can't stand this. It's heartbreaking to see or hear a teacher say those words to a student under his or her care, that because you made fun of your teachers, you will not amount to anything in life. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. Now, it's not just enough that the said teacher actually accused her wrongly, because that's the truth.
Yes.
You see, and this takes me to the next, even though I'll come back to this. Observation is key.
Sure.
Observation is key. She just saw this young girl and concluded that she makes fun of her teachers.
Yes.
But in the real sense, that was a way of the girl reminding herself, calling to memory those things. You see, there is always this teacher-student attachment.
Yeah.
All right, and as long as the bright side of that teacher is on your mind, what I mean by the bright side is that thing you remember about the teacher and you smile.
Yeah.
That thing you remember about that teacher and you're happy. That thing you remember about that teacher and you're elated. As long as that connection is there, the moment you remember it, you would psychologically begin to hear the teacher's voice, those words all over again. Sure. But hey, here was a person I would describe as a non-teaching teacher.
For the money.
For the money. That's the truth.
Sure.
That was a non...
Are you going to blame her?
No. Let's not. I know the perspective you're coming from. I want to talk about the economy, no job.
I'm not talking about the economy. I'm not talking about the economy. Well, if we are to focus majorly on the topic that we are talking about, we are also going to how she grew up.
Oh my God.
How she grew up. Maybe one way or the other she might have made such actions to a teacher too, and she was corrected. So she thought that is the way of bringing up a child. Or that's the way of teaching students.
And you see, these things are actually a whole lot. They're actually a whole lot because for me, as a person who has taught for decades, and still counting, I have actually seen a lot of people, especially students. You can just imagine you walk into a classroom and you want to teach English or you want to teach mathematics, and the teacher just walks in and you just see this girl or this boy who is lost. I used to tell my students, the fact that you're quiet in my class does not mean you're paying attention. All right, your mouth may not be speaking, but your mind is busy. Your mind is trading. All right, and so you can even call out to the student, "Hey, John," assuming John was his name. "Hey, John. It would take someone, don't you get it, for him to. Why? Because his mind is far away. Now, most of these people, most of these students, young and grown-ups that I have interacted with, are actually suffering one emotional neglect or the other.
Okay. Sorry to come in from here. Let me just chip in a little example of what happened to me personally. Far back.
I want us to have factual,
Far back 2005.
factual conversation.
While I was in secondary school, I was in SS3 for the first term, and there is this teaching that has been given to us that since you are in senior secondary school, you are the one to form your notes yourself from the textbook.
Okay. Oh yes.
So I have my textbooks which I formed the note. And in those days, not the children of nowadays, that any little note they have, they use it to buy akara outside. They take it to akara room and just to collect what? To collect akara. A replacement for what? Their school book. Now, we formed the note.
Not everybody.
I also partook in it.
Okay, you did that.
That's just by the way. So, on this note now, what I did was to form my biology note from SS1. And it was about 3 higher educations. You know, when you say you have 3 higher educations, gummed together, joined together for the whole of the session.
That would be very voluminous.
And just WAEC is 2 terms away. And I was in class trying to form this biology teacher's note. I was forming the note, and this teacher walked in. A biology teacher. She's the owner of the note. Because she saw me writing while she's writing topic on the board, she collected the note and seized it. And that was what led me into hating biology from that time.
See that?
You see that?
I know why. I know why fragrance just.
Do you see that? And what came to my mind at that time is, didn't this teacher know that it is our note? You see that? At least for her to know that I'm trying to update her note should be a pass mark for me. But she didn't think that. She just collected the note based on why would I be writing?
Well, you're right.
Why she's writing something on the board. At least as at that time, she has not started teaching.
Yeah, but some of our viewers may actually have a different view of what you just said.
Yes.
You know, because someone would say that was doing the wrong thing at the right time. Yeah, so, and that's actually the whole essence of this conversation. What we're trying to build up is the fact that when you see someone acting in a kind of way, whether weird or randomly, it's very important that, especially people you see every now and then, you know, your neighbors, people within your neighborhood, people in your family, your school setting and all that, because these are people that you relate with on a daily basis, you know, people within your societal organization, you know, church, mosque, or whatever. It's very important that we take time to actually observe these people. And that takes me back to what I put down here a while ago. Observation is key. It's always very important to ask why. For example, though someone would say you were doing the wrong thing at the right time, of course, I cannot agree less with that, right? But again, that teacher could have observed by having a conversation with you. I mean, nothing wrong with, hey, Freeman, yes, what are you doing? Excuse me, ma'am, I'm writing and trying to update my biology notes and all that and blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's time for everything. I will deal with you. See me in my office after this class. Now, would you put that book down and pay attention to it? Don't you get it?
I believe that would have passed the message across.
That would have passed the message across. Now, not just to you,
to everybody.
To everybody.
Everyone.
And that would have earned that teacher some level of affection from the rest of the students.
Yes.
So you see, all of these things, I think it's the truth is, if you are not emotionally intelligent, you cannot actually respect other people's emotions.
Sure.
I think that's actually the main thing here. If you are not emotionally intelligent, it's just like you do not know how to cook, and now you have a visitor who says, "I'm hungry." What would you do? You understand? That's exactly the point.
And a lot of people misunderstand emotional intelligence for respect. Oh, I'm not your mate.
Yeah,
so I
set
shouldn't
the
look at how you
boundaries.
feel.
Yeah.
You should just, look
it's-
at me. I also need emotional. You should know that.
You should
things.
see me also.
So I think it's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's actually a whole lot. Now, yes, you are.
A lot is just going through. With what Freeman said, when he said it, I laughed because precisely my chemistry teacher, she's a midget actually.
Oh my!
Yeah, no, and they said those sets of persons are quick to be angered.
Yeah,
they
because
don't
they're
know
always scared
why.
of being
Taking
You should.
for
That is it.
Yeah.
Now this lady, she's always like on a very high heel. Still, she still sees the
What I call help me talk.
Yeah,
Help
the
me talk.
children are still like this, and any small thing, she's just pouring it out. She's agitated. She's angry.
Yeah.
Very, very aggressive. If you look at her, she's already calculating that it's because you want to laugh at me.
Yeah, that's why you're looking at
You
me
want to
that
take me
way.
for granted. That is it. And
then our role is ready.
because she did a whole lot of harm with the students. She did a whole lot of harm.
And a whole lot
And I
of people.
think these teachers, those people that are in charge of children, they should be educated because most
Continuous
times
education.
they transfer aggression that has been gotten from the home.
Yes.
The children becomes the receiver of it.
Yeah, they become victims.
Yes.
I think I'm an example of that also.
They will become victim of it, and because they are superior, they will want to spank you. My time, cane is not prohibited. They will spank you for their fault.
Yes.
And
I like that. I would like you to say that again. They will spank you
For their own
for their own
fault.
fault. Yes. Okay. And it's not about teachers like we're debating, but I have a lot of experience. My mathematics teacher is this person that will want to come in, get himself high first. He will not touch the board.
Without getting high.
Then, if people in my set can see me, they will call him Mr. Shepe. He will get himself high, and we become. If you ask question, why are you asking question? Can you imagine? And these are sensitive subjects that
needs a lot of explanation, a lot of patience.
Emotional
communication.
Yeah, for it to impact
Your body language, everything
your choice of words.
should be checked. But these persons, I am the teacher, you are supposed to be there, and maybe they've calculated, I need some money, you've not gotten your textbook. The next thing is anger. They vet your anger on you. So there's a whole lot of management. Like I started actually with myself talking about this same stuff. I said these persons, they are majorly muted and flat, meaning they don't talk. And now
They go into their shell.
when you bottle up, there must be reaction.
Definitely.
Now they definitely they acted more than talking.
Yes.
That is all this anger, unnecessary
Yeah.
body language.
That is what is described as action speaks louder than words.
And it is majorly anger that's built in.
Bottled up anger.
Wow.
Hello.
This is actually a whole lot. Well, you are esteemed viewer. I know definitely you've had your own pound of flesh on this particular matter, especially if you come from where we come from, here in Africa. There are some teachers you can never forget all your life, even at old age. Not because they made impact, but because they are responsible.
I'm so sorry to bring this. Now there is a group that was made within my set. I barely go there, but I just stumbled on something. I was curious. I said, please, support this same math teacher we're talking about.
Okay.
Support him because he's into some, he's sick. Of course, a person that takes hot
Shepherd.
every now and then. What is it?
Dry gin.
Alcohol. Now and it's not good to the kidney and the body.
Of course.
So he's going through I don't know, I can't really pick the exact sickness right now. And they said, please, let's donate.
Yeah, that's
And
To be killing.
old school alumni group.
Yes, the ally. So now, say let's donate. Come and see. I thought it was just my class.
Man,
Come and see comments. I cannot. This man made me hate math. Right now, I cannot even do it. Come and see comments again. So whatever teachers are doing, they should know that it has an adverse effect.
Now,
that will come back to them.
Now, it's not just about teachers, actually.
I know that.
You know, parents, guardians, especially guardians. You know,
the reason why we're talking about teachers is because they mentor these young ones.
of course.
And the parents, you know, how many? Most of my no time.
Yes.
So they stay longer time with
the
these children,
teachers.
and this is their forming stage.
Yes, and the truth is that most children are more connected to their teachers than
Yes,
their parents.
Yes.
You know,
Their teachers and their siblings.
yes, yes, they see their teachers as role models.
Yes.
I mean, I think you were with me some month ago. We were walking.
Yes, that girl ran down.
Yes,
to
a particular
shouting.
street.
Yes.
You know, and she saw me and she screamed, "Mr. Desmond!" I looked, you know, in public, and she ran and, you know, hugged me, and I was trying to recollect. Okay. Oh, and I remember the name of the school. And okay, and of course, time had flown, right? And I was like, okay, which school are you? She said, I have served. I was like, oh, please forgive me. What did you study? I studied English and Literary Studies. Wow.
I was the same teacher.
You know, and she was like, you know, I remember those days you used to talk to us and all that and blah blah blah. And she was like, you know, I tried reaching out to you, I couldn't just. So after the whole pleasantry and all that, when we parted, we were speaking on this particular issue, and I said the opposite could have been the case.
Yes. Can
you see that? Sure. Now, she was very happy, and for her to have seen me and, you know, came with that kind of
their face.
I'm telling you, it means that she still remembers. And I actually spent just about 3 years with her in that particular school, you know, because I was a contract teacher. So she must have been imparted. She must have been imparted by me without me knowing.
Yes.
Don't you get it? Again, on a particular day, I saw a young boy that, believe you me, if you had left me to be guessing, I will guess 1,000 times without remembering who he actually was. You know, I was walking up the road, and this was actually within the market area. You know how busy that could be. And he saw me. He was coming in front of me, and he called me. It's like, who is this person? And the name he called was not, you know, the name that everybody knows. You know, those kind of,
back in the day.
You know, back in the day, kind of. And I was like, no, this person must know me very well. And when we met each other, we greeted, and he noticed that I wasn't sure of who he was.
Where you knew him from?
And he said, you don't remember? I said, please help me. And he called his name. Can I remember that name again now? Toby. He said, Toby. I was like, Toby. I've taught a lot of Tobys. I've met a lot of Tobys, you know. And he mentioned the school. I said, okay. In that school, I taught so many Tobys. I was there for about 3 years as a classroom teacher. And he mentioned his surname. What? This small, tiny something. You are this Yayant, according to Calabar people, say Yayant. You've turned a giant. And we laughed and all that. And believe you me, I fumbled. And what was the fumble? Which level are you now? Assuming he was still in the university. But this is a young man who had graduated over 7 years ago, had served in the Navy. And like when he started telling me the things he had done, lo and behold, what happened? There was this book that I made sure, it was a geography book that, had to explain the space and all that. So, and we delved deeply, far beyond what the scheme said. I never knew. He took interest in science. And today, like, when he was telling me the things he was into, I was amazed. Like when I say amazed, he had taken several professional courses. Like the guy has become a genius. But now here are we. Of course, I don't want to tell you of my own experience as a child in the school. Come on. I mean, there's one name I don't want to remember because each time I remember it, to tell you the truth, I get angry. Just like the midget chemistry teacher you were talking about. So each time such a teacher will see you, it will be like, you are the reason why I didn't grow tall. You are the reason why I don't have height. So you become the receiver, the recipient of
anger.
And these things are not good. So it's not just about the teachers. How about pastors?
Yes.
Pastors.
Yeah.
I've seen a whole lot. I know a particular one that will never trust you. Like never. If you like, get to where he is, go nude so that he will just make sure you fling everything to make sure he sees that there is nothing remaining in your pocket or whatever. He will tell you you've hidden it somewhere before you came to him. Like he will never, I don't want to use the word he can never, he will never trust you. Very suspicious, like very suspicious. So, and these things actually model people to the wrong path. To the wrong path. So, there are several other.
How about we talking about the guardians? Now, not the parents, because
the guardians,
the people that suffer this emotional
neglect
are those that don't stay with their parents.
Absolutely.
Majorly. Because you see this, I don't know, probably I might be wrong, like 60% or above.
I'm not sure you're wrong.
Of this guardian, they're not there, they don't understand you. Some of them, they don't have opportunity to grow up with you. I think some are teenagehood when they are some are baby. They will maltreat you. They will not allow you to talk. So these guardians, they are not helping us.
Well, speaking about guardians, I'm not sure you have a lot to talk about that based on personal experience or you because you grew up with your parents. But for me, I really would try as much as possible to avoid talking about this. Because mine is a book. In fact, the book should be in volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. I'm telling you because I saw hell. And it took God alone to model me into who I am today. I do tell young people each time I have opportunity to have conversations with them that if not for God helping me, I would have been one of the worst people that you should be scared of. I'm telling you, because I saw wickedness. I can, it's just that I'm not good at painting. I could have painted wickedness and show you this is the image. This is the
It's serious.
It's bad. It's really bad. And if you're a guardian, please do not vent the anger of shortcomings of your husband, shortcomings of your family, your personal shortcomings on words that are given to you to take care of. It's very important you understand that you are actually building something that could even destroy you as well or your children. Because I always tell people, it's not just about what you do now. Yeah, I know of a young lady who was raised by someone, and she was more like the Jackie in the house, and the children of the biological children in the home wouldn't do anything. They don't know how, they don't wash, they don't cook, they don't fetch anything, they don't run errands, they just go to school, come back, eat this and that, and blah blah blah. Now, this particular person happened to be the worker, let me put it there, all right, the slave in the house. But today, this person has grown to become better. But now, the children, the biological children from that home are finding it difficult to cope with life. Yeah, because what goes around comes around. The time you're supposed to invest in your children to teach them skills, life skills, you are trying to punish another, because that's what it is.
I don't know why they have that mindset.
Well, why do they have that mindset? It's still about what we're talking about, how they grew up. I always tell you, you are the product of what you know. What you know is a product of what you hear. What you hear is a product of your teacher. Your teacher is a product of what he knows. What he knows is a product of what he or she heard. And that is a product of what his own teacher. And it just goes on and on. Until the chain continues, until
There's a breakout.
there's a breakout. Either you meet a psychiatrist or a psychologist or have an encounter with Christ or something. But the truth is, without that breakout, the chain continues. All right. I want to join you. If you're still with us at this point, it means that this conversation is actually making a lot of impact in you. Do not forget to like this video and also send us your comment down on the comment section below this video. And subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so. And hit the notification bell to make sure that each time we post life transforming videos like this, you will be the first to be notified. And do not forget to share this video to your loved ones and your friends and well-wishers, because you just could be saving someone somewhere.
Yes.
All right, let's talk more on these signs to know, signs to recognize a person that is suffering difficulty with emotional intelligence. How about difficulty comforting others? I have met people, and when I say people, a lot of them, who find it difficult, like they find it very difficult to comfort people. All right? Those are the people you say they don't feel your pain. All right, you were saying something about it, Esther, a while ago. They find it difficult to know that you too have pains. They just want to suck you emotionally dry. Just keep bringing it. All right, it's just like in Africa, growing up, how we used to apportion meat. Okay, so the senior has to take the biggest one, and then it goes like that and like that, and may God help you if you're the last child. And if you're the last child, you are definitely going for the smallest. Meanwhile, reverse is supposed to be the case. Can you see that? Now, for you as a person who has grown up with that kind of training, now you're independent. I can bet you're going to eat meat until meat will tell you, sir, this is just too much. And that's the truth. And so these are just fallouts, from how people were raised. Okay? So there are these people who were probably emotionally drained. So they have grown to become internally aggressive.
Sure.
Let me use that word. All right. So when they see you, they just feel that you owe them emotional support. Yeah, I use that word supply deliberately because it's keep bringing it. And it doesn't always go like that, because the person comforting you, he's got his own pains too. He's got his own pains too. And this is something that people need to understand. So it's just like the Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you. So, you do for me, I do for you. That's how we say it in Nigeria.
Just like how they say it, wash my back.
I wash your back, and that's it. There's an adage, I will give us two adages here, African adages, that say that when you see a mature dog playing with a puppy, now both fall for each other.
Yes.
Under normal circumstance, the puppy cannot down the mature dog, right? The grown dog, but it will deliberately fall because it says when both fall, it makes the play more interesting. Don't you get it? But if the fall is from one side, the puppy is the one falling and falling and falling and falling, the time will come it will run because it's like, what is all this? Yeah, and that's it. The second adage is that when you wash one hand, it never can be neat. Don't you get it? But when you wash the two hands at the same time, both will become very neat. So it is the same when it comes to this emotion of a thing. It is give and take because we all have emotional issues.
Yes.
We all. So even the comforter sometimes also need to be what? To be comforted. So you cannot just expect someone to, keep bringing it on. No, it goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond that.
Yes.
Okay, let me give us opportunities to give us one or two other perspectives to it. Freeman.
Well, with what you just said now, I believe that someone who is always requesting from you on and on and on, I believe that person has difficulty the person has difficulty in identifying
emotions
in the other.
So
he or she feels I'm the only one who is going through this.
Oh yeah.
So I'm the one who
your
should be
life
comforted.
is Hakuna Matata.
I'm the one who should be comforted. You don't need comfort. Based on, and it might be as a result of how the person who is comforting him or her has presented his or herself.
That's true.
Based on you are always there's this defensive system.
Yeah, always proving to be strong.
Always proving to be strong. So the person might say, okay, you don't need emotion. So
you're good. Your life is just good. Your life is good.
So I'm the one who is affected here. So give me all the attention.
Oh my
God. That's it.
Yes, fragrance.
And most people prove to be this strong. They prove that, okay, let's pick example that I am supposed to be the leader. So I should just give these people, make them comfortable. You get it?
Yeah.
Neglecting their own aspects.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
I'm not putting it
being emotionally overconfident.
So they exhaust themselves.
Yes. Burnout.
They burn themselves
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Now, I love what you said. Everybody have this.
Yes.
It's just an intellectual understanding of how to deal with it.
Yes.
Now, you see, most times people that cannot comfort is because they want to overlook the facial expression. They want to overlook your body language. They just feel that you are good to go. So it shouldn't be like that. A person, I need you, you need me. That is this word. We all need each other.
Yeah.
So when you see a person in a particular way that you should literally read and observe, like you would say.
Observe, yes.
Observe the person.
Observation.
And the next stage is go, inquire, try to know. So when you know, you can now know how to fit in to help this person
overcome whatever
that is stressing.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Esther?
Okay, I want to touch the aspect of, in the course of the conversations, we've touched the aspect of the family, the church, religious leaders, guidance, right? Let's look at the aspect of people in government parastatals. You you get into a government office. I don't want to give an exact example.
Yes.
Right? Most of the people there, I don't know where they handpick them from. I don't know. But they just have this difficulty comforting people. And I just wonder, I'm like, why are you like this? So the time I wrote an exam, right? That was 7 years ago. I can't remember the exact year. And they told me up front, the man said, your result is out too. I went with my elder sister. Your result is out too. And you passed very well, but I cannot show it to you. And so I was like, why? I want to see the result so we know how to progress. And he said, oh, it's not for you to tell me how to do my job. I was not even up to 17 at that time. And I was wondering, I'm like, why? What is going on? You know, because I was wanting to school in the East, and my sir wanted me, you know, my family wanted me to school in Lagos. And the man said, you passed your exams, but there's something we do. We would sell out your results to the highest bidder. And I just looked at my sister and I told her that I don't understand why they would make education difficult for people to now. But coming to think of all of this display, this is not the first time that it has happened to me. There are times maybe you go for, you know, some job interviews, some appointments in, you know, government parastatals, and then you were kept waiting. It's not like they are busy doing anything.
Nothing. They just want to show you superiority.
You know, example, there's this common show that people watch a lot, you know, on the internet, Visa on Arrival. And then you see those people at the visa office. They will just tell you that there is no God here, I am your God.
Yes.
So the way you present yourself, there are some that wants you to buy what they are selling. There are some that wants you to bribe them. There are some that just want you to call them sir. And then it just makes me realize that, oh, these people lack, you know, they just have this difficulty in comforting others. Now, when you say comfort, it's not about you telling someone sorry.
No,
but
or
how you would
patting by the back.
you know, accept when an individual is in front of you. Empathy. You know, they don't know how to. Nobody's saying sympathize with anyone, but just show that empathy. Be empathic towards people. You know, and then I was thinking of it, and I just had to just take some notes. I said, difficulty comforting others can lead to bribery and corruption.
Absolutely.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because I want to scale through. So come on, tell me, why are you behaving this way? Oh, is it money? Take it.
Money.
Open the gate for me.
Even when you're not asking, and then the person will be like, oh, you even know you can please me through money, and then you have been delayed, you know? And all of these things, emotional distress for the other party. I'm standing in front of you, you're delaying my time, you don't know if I have other appointments I need to meet up with, and then you're delaying my time. For example, you are in front of the visa registrar, and then you're fidgeting, you know, this would cause you, because you are stressed emotionally.
Yes, and then he asks you some kind of nasty, stupid questions.
And then you look at yourself and you wonder, am I even
like, did I just answer that question?
How did I? Yeah, it happened to a friend of mine.
It has happened to me.
It's just funny.
But
they asked him a question as simple as very simple as what is the name of your secondary school? And he forgot.
That is the truth. You're absolutely
the
right.
name of your secondary school, and he forgot. And when he came out, he broke down. He said he just wanted this person to smile, but no smile.
But did you know that sometimes they do that deliberately to find the personality?
But then there are people who do not do. It's common amongst Africans,
Especially in interviews.
Yes.
They do that deliberately to know your personality and how strong you can take emotions.
Okay.
So it is for the person
I would
to
not
still
agree completely with that.
maintain their cool.
I would not.
So no matter
You know,
the pressure,
people have
it's also
different personalities.
No, in support with what she just said, I knew of someone.
Emotional check is part of the interview.
Yeah.
So they might do it anyway to bring out the fury.
Okay, I want to correct an impression there. I'm saying that it is common amongst Africans, especially Nigeria, right? Because of what happened, I told myself, I said, anything that will make me leave this country and not school here, I would do it, and I made sure it happened. Now, I schooled in another African country, but it wasn't as stressful,
as hectic as it is here.
What I went through. Now, this example I gave happened to me in two federal schools in Nigeria.
You see, one thing, well, speaking about Nigerian parastatals, government parastatals, I mean, there is this wrong mindset that people have. Do it the Nigerian way. Now, that Nigerian way doesn't have definition.
Anyhow you understand
Is
the Nigerian way.
Is the Nigerian way. Now, but the person telling you do it the Nigerian way has the Nigerian way that he expects
you to do.
Now,
so you
just hear me out. In support with what she said before earlier, I knew of someone who got employed as a result of just reciting the school anthem.
Okay.
Just the school anthem.
Yes.
And the CEO at that time was a student in the secondary school who knows the school anthem very well. So when this guy came in as an employee, what he did was, in the course of conversation, what happened there? The man knew that, okay, you came from this secondary school. And the next question, the man didn't really
recognize, of course, yes,
up to him. What he asked him is, can you recite
the school anthem?
And the guy recited the school anthem
Correctly.
And that was what gave him a pass mark.
Most times, this person might want to test.
So I'm
Just
sorry.
as you said, just as you said earlier,
test.
do it
The Nigerian way. And do not forget the way they came in. Now listen, they might come in with this aggression, you know.
So what
I got this thing like this, so I want to know if you are capable to take this position.
I want to create an impression. 2017, my first official job.
Yes.
2017, I worked with a Nigerian who is not based in Nigeria, right, and does not have the Nigerian mindset. Before then, I've been working, you know, freelancing with other people who are Nigerians and working in Nigeria. Now, I was sharing an office space with his brother, right? They are a very prominent family. His brother does most of Lagos State tax. And he thinks like this man schooled abroad. But because of the whole Nigerian influence on him,
he has become the real Nigerian.
The real Nigerian. For you that collects tax in Lagos State, you do not pay tax. Imagine that kind of. And then your brother, who is in the UK, pays tax to Nigerian government. Now, this is, I'm sorry to say, I've been opportune to work with both, you know, the international community and then the Nigerian community, which most times we call the local community, right? And Nigerians have this mindset that they do not want to break out from, which is a very, very, I don't know, it's saddening because it causes a lot of heartache for individuals.
All right, now let's
okay, I will just say, if you want to catch a black man, you behave like a black man.
Okay, let's hold that thought there. Let's not deviate from the original topic, you know. And however, both of you,
before you go, I still on what she's saying. You know, this interviewer, the person that takes the interview is the interviewer, right?
Yeah.
Now, we want to see that this person that I am handing this position to, you can be tested with something very simple, like for that guy to forget the name of his school. You can see that he's tensed.
Yes,
he's not in control.
Exactly.
Now, with that kind of a person giving him a sensitive position, it might mess things up. So they want to see the emotional tenacity and emotional resilience and strength.
Yes. Now, hold it there. I understand the perspective she's coming from, and I understand clearly where you are coming from. The purpose for the interview is very important. All right, because don't forget, we're talking about emotional imbalance here. Okay, so the purpose for the interview is very, very important. Now, talking about job interview and all that, but the perspective she's coming from is different. We're talking about people who deliberately want to make life hell for you.
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually where we're going to draw the curtain, because this is a front burner issue, and we would always come back to continue from where we stopped, because These are things that we need to talk about, and people need to understand what it means to be emotionally intelligent instead of being emotionally draining. All right? Difficulty with emotional expression is a major issue affecting several people globally. And I'm sure that you, esteemed viewers, you've got your own pound of flesh. If not, you know someone who does. And this is the reason why it is very important that we understand these signs. There are many more signs that time will not actually permit us to discuss. But if you want to know more about it, check out our other video where I taught on signs to recognize a person struggling with difficulty with emotional expression. And I can assure you, you will be educated. All right? From all of us here in the Squad Show, I want to say, like this video and send us your comments. Send us your comments on those things you want us to talk about as regards signs to recognize a person struggling with difficulty with emotional expression. And be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so, and hit the notification bell so that each time we post the next video, you will be the first to be notified. Bye-bye.